Welcome, you beautiful visionary, to Petrify the Patriarchy. I'm your guide, Joe B. If you're ready to unearth the subtle ways patriarchal culture has shaped your world and uncover the hidden power within your own shadow, you are in the right place. Here, we don't just speak truth to power, we wield it, turning stagnant energies to stone so that your authentic, liberated self can truly flourish. Let the unlearning begin. So, hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Petrify the Patriarchy. I am so glad you're here. Last time, we set the stage. We talked about what it really means to petrify those old, outdated systems. It's not about destroying them, but intentionally freezing and rebalancing everything, right? Today, we're actually going to focus on a concept that's been so incredible. I've got a hair hanging in my vision. I'll get it. um, Today, we're actually going to focus on a concept that's been so incredibly twisted and distorted by those very systems, which is the true strength of the feminine. So, when you hear feminine strength, what usually pops into your head? Right. It's generally gentleness or empathy or grace. And absolutely, those are gorgeous qualities to have. And I think we all want them. But honestly, too often, patriarchy has just co opted those definitions and forced them into this small, agreeable box. It's like being reduced to a soft complement simply to support masculine power. And it's confined the feminine to specific roles, really often praising emotional labor, and then in the same breath, totally dismissing its profound and primal force. And it's kind of nuts when you think about it, right? Here's the thing. What if the feminine isn't just about softness? What if it's also about the deepest courage, the fiercest protection you can imagine, the most potent transformation, and this unshakable connection to the very cycles of life and death? I mean, what if the true strength of the feminine is far wilder, far more ancient, and frankly, just way more vital than we've ever been allowed to believe? So before we dive any deeper, it is absolutely crucial that we get something super clear. When I talk about masculine and feminine on this podcast, I am not talking about gender. I am not talking about men or women, period. Instead, I'm talking about energetic principles, these archetypal forces, these universal currents of energy that exist within all of us. Doesn't matter your gender identity or how you express yourself. Think of them like the yin and the yang, two fundamental currents that are both totally essential for balance and for creation. We're going to start with masculine energy. This energy, is often linked to action, the doing, the logic, the structure, the discernment, the protection, right? It's the feeling of an arrow shooting straight toward a target or the blueprint before you've even started to build the house. We all have this energy. It's the part of us that says, okay, I've got a goal. Now let's go make a plan and then go execute it. The feminine energy, this one's all about being, receiving, intuition, flow, creation, connection, nurturing, inward reflection, right? It's tapping into cyclical wisdom. It's the energy of the fertile earth when you go to plant a seed. It's the way the moon pulls on us and we get the tides that are created. It's that receptive container that allows life to flourish. We all have this. It's all a part of you, and it's the part that dreams, it feels things deeply. It's what connects us empathetically, and that trusts the organic unfolding of life, that universe has got me feeling, right? But here's the kicker. Patriarchy, by its very definition, is a system where the masculine energy principle, specifically its shadow sides like domination, control, rigid hierarchy, unbridled expansion, has become totally imbalanced and privileged. I'm going to say that again. The masculine has become totally imbalanced and privileged. And it's often done at the expense of healthy feminine energetic principle. So both within us as individuals and then as a society as a whole, it's a double whammy for women and those who identify in feminine presenting ways, right? It is a double whammy against us. I want to say this sincerely. It is not about men being bad. That is not what I'm getting at. It's genuinely about an energetic imbalance that actually literally harms everyone. Everyone. I want to get real and specific, and I want you to think about women in your life. How many of them are not capable of taking action or being discerning? I can't think of a single one, right? I don't know a single woman out there that says, nope, can't do that. I've got to wait for the nearest man in order for me to take action. Women taking action has to happen or the world will literally stop. It's not about taking action simply to do something like the laundry, aka your traditional gender roles. It's about managing a whole household, even when men aren't actively looking, right? And for example. And do you know a single woman who isn't discerning about who she dates, marries, or partners with? I mean, listen to any number of men complaining about women out on the dating field, and it's pretty clear to me, at least, what's going on here. Women know they want a quality partner, one who's capable of reflection, vulnerability, and support in nurturing their lives together. Hello, balance. And I'm wondering if men have forgone this idea because they have neglected what it means to have feminine energy because they've attached gender to the energetic principle of it. But back to masculine energies. Having these qualities do not suddenly make us male. It means we have a balance of the energies needed to be holistic and do the things, all the things necessary in our day. And then conversely, of course, when men are creative or reflective, it doesn't mean that they have somehow become female. It's simply feminine energy that they possess and utilize at moments where it's needed or wanted. I mean, can you imagine a world without men in the music industry, for example? So again, throughout the remainder of my time here in podcast land, when you hear me say masculine and feminine, I will be speaking energetically. And when you hear male or female, I will be referring to gender identities or man or woman, right? And just so we're clear, for all of my LGBTQIA plus individuals, you have the right to choose which energetic principle best fits you when you are listening in that moment. Because the last thing you all need is another cis het person speaking for you or demanding you fit in whatever checkbox. And truth be told, we all, every one of us, need reminders from time to time. And the energetic zigzags still equate to one whole, all interconnected, all balanced. So with that understanding, we've got that understanding down. What does the true strength of the feminine energetic principle actually look like? And you know, it's far more expansive and powerful than we've been taught. So let's think about it in a few different ways. Think about the strength of receptivity and intuition. Patriarchy loves rigid logic, right? But the feminine strength, it's in its ability to receive information that goes way beyond our five senses. And that comes through intuition and through empathy through a deep knowing. And let me tell you, this is not weakness. This is a profound intelligence. It can cut through complexity and lead you to insights often way quicker than linear thought ever could. Think of daydreaming. Carl Jung used it, talked about the importance of it. Daydream. It'll take you all over the place. It's not linear, but it's going to get you somewhere, and it's probably going to get you somewhere really great, right? And this is strength. This is strength in character, strength in resolve, strength in vulnerability, strength in adaptability, and, you know, a million other things. Honestly, it's a lot of things. Okay, so now let's think about the strength of creation and flow. I mean, life itself emerges from the feminine. And this strength is in our ability to create, to birth new ideas, new projects, new realities, and to just adapt to the natural ebbs and flows of life instead of forcing super rigid outcomes. And being able to collaborate and share leadership, leaderful. That's a thing I know a thing or two about. That's an incredible way to experience the strength of the feminine. Another thing is the strength of fierce protection and boundaries. So you're wandering out in the woods and you see a mother bear and she's got 2 cubs and suddenly she gets super protective, right? She doesn't become super protective to be aggressive or for dominance. This is her primal, unwavering force that says nope to whatever might be harmful and an emphatic yup to what sustains the life of her cubs. And it's this protective strength that establishes clear, non-negotiable boundaries. And so the phrase mama bear, right? If you're a mom, you know what a mama bear feeling is. It's essential for safety and for integrity. And hey, this is also where that hint of Medusa's power really comes in. Her gaze, it's a protective boundary. Let's consider the strength of emotional depth and resilience. Patriarchy often just demonizes emotion, doesn't it? But the feminine, it embraces the fullness of all feeling. It understands that real resilience doesn't come from suppressing pain. It comes from embracing it, from accepting it, from feeling it, moving through it, and transforming it. And this is immense power. When you can take grief, you don't think you can live another day in the intensity of that. And somewhere along the way, you wake up and you realize that you're a new person because of it. That is powerful shit. And rage, a thing that women are not supposed to do. We're demonized for that. But when we are enraged, we are to be feared because we transform thoughts, processes, policies, because we've been so enraged by whatever it has been for us. Suddenly other people can see it too. That's power. And women, when they're full of joy, come on now. When you truly allow yourself to experience these things, and let's be real here, men often are told and supposed to be stoic, neutral, right? And that harms men. That's the patriarchal archetype that says, nope, man up, be strong, by totally disallowing them to feel and have emotion. And we see this in data. We know it's true. Who are the people causing the most in an intimate relationship violence situation? Domestic violence data shows men are more likely to harm than women. Who's out there doing mass shootings? Men. And domestic terror attacks? Men. There are other things that come into play there too, and I realize that. But what if, imagine for a second, what if our societal systems made it safe for men to emote? How would that affect domestic violence, mass shootings, and domestic terror attacks? It's a very real thought to have. And then consider the strength of connection and collaboration. While masculine energy often emphasizes individual achievement, the feminine just absolutely thrives in connection, in community, in co-creation. Its strength is in weaving strong relationships, building super beautiful networks, fostering that belonging and understanding that collective wisdom. And this is the beauty of it. It surpasses individual genius every single time. Why? Because you've got a collective creating versus one person directing. And honestly, this really demands a second look at those rigid hierarchical structures. We have got to change that. To me, that's fact. So, how does truly embracing this strength help us petrify the patriarchy? When we really embody the fullness of the feminine energetic principle within ourselves, we naturally disarm that patriarchal stronghold. We stop valuing only external validation, which is such a patriarchal characteristic. When we're deeply connected to our own intuitive knowing and creative flow, we stop suppressing our emotions. Another big patriarchal trait, right? When we understand emotional depth as a powerful tool for resilience, and we absolutely challenge male-centeredness when we truly value diverse, intuitive, and relational ways of knowing and being. So many of us embracing this strength requires significant shadow work. We've internalized all these messages that feminine qualities are weaknesses. And maybe we have shadows of people pleasing. Hello, that's me. Or fear of our own power. Yes, hello again, that's me. Or even just discomfort with our own intuition. Yeah, I'll say it again. Hello, it's me. Confronting these shadows really allows us to understand where we've suppressed our own feminine energy. And that's a critical step in petrifying the patterns that bind us. And this is, my friends, this is the unlearning journey in action. Reclaiming the true strength of the feminine isn't about elevating one energy over the other. It's about restoring a profound necessary balance, both within ourselves and then out there in the external world. And believe me, it's a deeply powerful, powerful act of liberation. So before we end our time together, I have some food for thought, or homework, if you will. Former teacher, going to give you some homework. I want you to think about some things. Consider your daily life and the way you approach challenges. Are you more often in a state of doing? Or are you more in a state of being, receiving, flowing? Doing, masculine, receiving, flowing, energy, feminine energy. Which of these habitually overused or habitually suppressed might be happening within you? Think about a time you either denied your intuition, choosing instead to rely on rigid logic or external authority, right? Or conversely, think about a time you struggled to take decisive action or set a clear boundary, even when it was needed. What internal message or inherited patriarchal conditioning might be judging or suppressing the natural flow of these energies within you? And finally, if the true strength of the feminine or the healthy masculine, within you had a voice, what aspect of its power has it been yearning to express more fully? What part of you longs to be seen, to create, to lead, or to simply be without apology or external validation? Things to think about. Next time, we're actually going to dive deeper into one of the more challenging and certainly transformative aspects of this is learning to be comfortable with discomfort. Ah. Because my story and likely parts of yours proves that true growth often begins in those uncomfortable spaces we've been taught to avoid. So if today's conversation resonated with a deep kind of knowing in your bones, please make sure you subscribe to Petrify the Patriarchy so you don't miss an episode. And hey, for deeper dives, personalized guidance, and access to my unique frameworks and ritual work that can help you transform your own experiences of patriarchal conditioning, come visit me at movingmaxim.com. You can also find me on the socials, Moving Maxim or Moving Maxim LLC. I'll be sure to link everything in the show notes for you. Thank you, my friends, for showing up for this powerful work. Thank you for making it all the way through this podcast. And thank you for continuing to show up for yourself. Until next time, may you recognize and embrace the magnificent, wild strength of the feminine within you. Joby, signing off.